Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'akol niyeh bidbaro. All of us today have something to do with the internet. You can't live without it. Our phones, internet, whatever you touch has something to do with the internet. Where do you keep all your information? Well, you keep it in your phone, you keep it in your computer, or you keep it in the cloud. What is the cloud? Well, one thinks it's something that is esoteric, something in the sky. Actually, those are enormous apparatus, bases that have a lot of memory and that keep the information of everybody there. That's the cloud, really. They are located someplace in the United States in different parts, but these are enormous buildings with a lot of machines that have a lot of memory in them. Of course, this is great technology. How do they know to keep your information in a certain place? In any event, it's the cloud. Why is it the cloud? Why is it called the cloud? I really don't know. But maybe because, you travel through space and it doesn't matter really where it is. It might just as well be on top as a cloud. Well, I want to refer to a biblical cloud. When our ancestors were in the desert, how did they know where to go? Well, there was a cloud that accompanied them and showed them where to go. There was also a cloud on top of the tabernacle. When they traveled in the desert, there was a cloud that accompanied the tabernacle. But if you read the Torah, when they were traveling, the cloud wasn't there. It was only when they came to a certain place and they made a camp in a certain place, they rested in a certain place, then the cloud was on top of the tabernacle. So why does the Torah say that when the tabernacle moved, there was a cloud accompanying them? Well, maybe resting is also part of traveling. Maybe this is the lesson that we have to learn. That resting is also part of traveling. No, they rested in a place, then they saw the cloud. The cloud was there probably at all times, but they only realized it while they were resting. But resting is part of traveling. One rabbi once said the following: I think that the Jews in Spain enjoyed a tremendous progress, success, I think for 4th century, something like that. And then came 1390, and then 1492, and started the persecutions. Eventually they were expelled from Spain. So could you say that the 400 years that they were there, they were really there? That was part of traveling. It was a camp, they were there for a certain amount of time, but then they had to travel again. Jews in different countries were there for centuries, and suddenly something came and made them travel again. Sometimes part of them were exterminated, but staying in a place for the Jewish people is not permanent. The only place that is permanent for the Jewish people is really the land of Israel, the promised land. And even from there, they were expelled also. It's as if the Jewish people are forever traveling. Even when they are at rest, they're traveling. How many centuries have the Jews been in France? Suddenly, there is a surge of anti-Semitism in France. And you don't know if their stay in France has really a great future. In England, you see suddenly expressions of anti-Semitism. There are many who say, beware, my friend. In the United States, where we have never enjoyed as much freedom, the Jewish people has never had such a glorious stay in any place as in the United States. Suddenly some people are saying, maybe your stay here isn't permanent either. There was a rabbi by the name of Meir Kahane in Israel, and it seems there is a resurgence a little bit of his type of thinking, who said that we have to expropriate, pay the Arabs that have land in Israel, and give them something in exchange, let them go. This has to be entirely a Jewish state. And he has some followers today, and those followers say, listen, Jews in the United States, you who sit so comfortably and you think you have the greatest democracy in this world, things are changing. Maybe it's time to think that you have to move elsewhere. What do you think? Do you feel secure where you are? that you won't have to leave? I lived for 44 years in Venezuela. Most of my life was in Venezuela. My adult life was in Venezuela. The greatest country as far as I could think then. Many possibilities. My family grew there. I had many friends and so on. Doors open. I never felt one iota of anti-Semitism. Suddenly the world changed. And what I thought was really a resting place for the Jewish community, suddenly 80% of the Jewish community is no longer there because things changed. So maybe this world, there is no such thing as a resting place. There is no such thing as a secure place. Maybe for a certain amount of time, even centuries, you may feel safe. Just like the Jews in Spain. After 4 years, they were for sure secure in their Spanish identification. Yet a situation came about where they were expelled from that country as well. So the basic message I really think is you are only a guest in this world, and the Jewish people is only a guest in a certain country. I think all of humanity, we are only guests for a certain time. Then comes the time to move. And maybe these moves are the ones that invite progress as well. You see new horizons, you learn new languages, you learn new manners of living, and progress means change, forever growing. Because if you stay in the same place, sooner or later you'll become too accustomed to it, and progress will escape your north.